We are all born creative. And people say, I'm not an artist, but as I had said, we are all creative beings. And I believe that it is very fulfilling to us to tap into our creativity, no matter what we do for work, even if you're not an entrepreneur. So when I was working at the hospital, I tried to be as creative as possible, because when I would go, I thought that I had to be one or the other, because I really did not want to be a nurse. My parents wanted me to be a nurse. I wanted to be some kind of artist, but I ended up going to nursing school, and I thought, so then I was put into this box. I felt like a fish out of water, and I thought, here I am. I'm not loving this so much, but I have to find a way to love it.
Hi guys, welcome back to Boss Bitch Radio. I have met some really incredible women over the last probably 8 months of really expanding myself outside of my comfort zone with different events that I'm going to, seminars, retreats, and just connecting with women who I think would be amazing to have on the podcast to really share either their journey or what they're up to in the world, because I think that you'll really enjoy it. And Angie Bailey was one of those humans. I met her at Kathy Heller's retreat in September, and her story is just incredible. I mean, just such a great story. She's so sweet. She's such an amazing person. But if you dive into this episode today, you'll get to hear from her and her story. She's a former nurse turned entrepreneur, and she's now a founder of her own company called Calming Calligraphy. Does anybody remember calligraphy? It is such a beautiful, creative way to make art. And Angie shares her story of rediscovering her creativity through calligraphy. And it was a way for her to manage stress, reconnect with herself, and eventually leave her 25-year nursing career to pursue this as her full-time passion. So I know this episode's going to light you up. We dive deep into how creative practices like calligraphy can serve as a form of mindfulness and healing. And especially for those of you who are constantly pouring into others and you need a way to slow down and reconnect and find some flow again. So I don't want to spoil too much. I definitely want you to listen with a full heart and excitement for this amazing story and see if it inspires your creativity and bring it into the world and share it with others. So enjoy the episode.
Well, let's just jump in. How about you share how calligraphy fit into your life? Give us a little bit of background there and maybe bring us up to speed as far as what you're doing with it and how it's really like what your passions are around it right now, what you're just on fire about. I would love to you have such great energy. I know my audience is going to love you.
Oh, thank you. And I feel the same about you too. Oh my gosh. At the social media night, I thought, oh my gosh, this lady works for these people.
I know.
Thank you so much for everything you did.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
As far as calligraphy goes, I started practicing it again while I was working as a nurse in mid 2015, 2016. I started practicing again because my functional medicine doctor ordered me to, because I worked as a nurse in the OR and busy mom, 2 kids, always running around doing things for everybody else. So my doc said, what are you doing for yourself? And, as a woman, I wasn't doing anything for myself. And he literally said, go home. Well, first he said, what do you like to do? Are you into sports? Are you into art? Are you into what hobbies do you have? And he said, well, you know what? I used to do calligraphy when I was young. And he said, well, you're lighting up when you're saying that. I think you need to go home and start doing this again. So I went home and I taught myself again how to do calligraphy. And I really found that I got into this flow. And I am a very high energy kind of person. But at this point, I had hit the wall and I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis and I was just exhausted. So it was my body, giving me little clues all along, but I was ignoring them. So finally, I hit this wall and I went to see this guy and he said, you need to fill your own cup. So I started with calligraphy again, and I was loving it. And at the hospital, on my coffee break, I would be sitting there with my clipboard in hand and just practicing. And the other nurses would watch and say, hey, like, what are you doing? I want to learn that. So I started teaching them as well. And then they were saying, you're right. This is really a relaxing thing to do. And so for me, I found it brought me a lot of calm and focus, and it just quieted everything else down that was happening around me. So when I heard other people were feeling the same effects, I thought, oh my gosh, I really need to start leaning into this and teaching people not only how to do the calligraphy, but this mindfulness piece to it. So yeah, that's what I'm so lit up about it. I've been lit up about it since day one, but I was still working as a nurse. And so I was starting a little side hustle. But, after my day job, I'd get home and I did as much as I could. And I knew eventually I'll put more time into it. And then in 2021, I did quit early because another bout of COVID kind of put me over the edge because I'd always worked in the OR, sent to a ward, and I had a full-blown panic attack. I thought I'd never had a panic attack. I thought I was dying. Like I had heart palpitations. I couldn't breathe. And I locked myself in the bathroom. Like, I could handle people bleeding out of everywhere. And I could still handle that. But this, like just out of my element, I thought I was going to die. And I called my boss and I said, hey, can I stay home until the OR opens up again? Oh, we really need you. And I said, well, if you're not going to let me do that, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so we put nursing on the shelf. We're not doing that anymore.
Correct.
So how does the calligraphy, I know, right? Party dance. I have so many nurses that listen. So I know they're probably like, okay, this is my woman here. How has Calming Calligraphy evolved since then? Right. I think this is such an inspiring story for women that are maybe they followed a path in their career journey, right? They like, okay, this is what I thought I was going to do forever. My parents wanted me to, whatever, it was going to make me money, but they have this like creative spark or this passion and it just is dormant because they feel like, I don't know how I could turn this into a business or how, like, what does this even look like? Right. And I'm really just trying to scratch the itch of the women in their brain who are just like, oh God, I love this thing, but how do I go from my day to now this is what I do? So you have some really great juicy stories that you shared at the retreat. So let us know how this has evolved over time and really what your work is now with Calming Calligraphy.
Yes. So I had all of those fears, like saying to myself, I'm in my 50s. Can I really do this? Am I really creative? So many other people are much further ahead. There's many better calligraphers out there than me. Like I had all of those fears, but there was something in me. And when I saw the other nurses' eyes light up, I thought to myself, I cannot keep this from people, especially when I felt how good I was feeling. I thought, I need to do this. So I would go through kind of cycles of, being all in on this and feeling really good about it, what I was doing. And then I'd have, the imposter syndrome, that.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. But then I started to really put myself in groups with other women who are doing similar things, who are doing the scary thing. And you and I are in one of those groups together. And I feel like I need to be in that community to keep me accountable, to keep me in that same high vibe and wanting to do this. I mean, I do want to do it. But when I'm in the company of women who are doing the same sorts of things, all sorts of different types of businesses, but we hold each other up and it's just so fantastic. And I don't know if it probably didn't even answer your question.
No, it's okay. I'm really curious to how this plays a role in your day-to-day life now, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Do you have courses? Do you work with people on bringing this into maybe their self-care practices? Because what it sounds like is that you have this incredible journey from, moving from being a nurse into now living through your passion. And you've had some really great milestones of having exposure in like a really big magazine, right? And like putting yourself out there and taking these risks and just saying like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yes.
And how has this evolved into a business for you?
Yes. So I started teaching workshops and I continue to teach workshops. I did have a membership at one point. It was while I was still working as a nurse, and that is something I'm going to revisit. And I've been creating some online courses as well. And I do teach corporate workshops as well. So I do speaking as well. And I'm really building that side of it because I'm being exposed to bigger communities. So I'm going to be having my online courses so that when I'm exposed to these larger communities, I only have a couple hours with them. And so they'll be able to follow me and join the courses as well. But yeah, I have to say that I've just kept myself open to possibilities. And crazy things happen. Like this editor of a magazine reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm the editor of Calligraphy Crush magazine." And I thought to myself, what? This woman is reaching out to me. And you should see the calligraphers who are in this magazine, mentors of mine, people who I look up to, who one was the scribe to Queen Elizabeth, and he is amazing. And another lady I've been following since 2017. And I thought, she wants me in her magazine. And she said, "Oh, Angie, just wait until we meet. Your mind is going to be blown. I have a lot, more to talk to you about." And then we met, and together we created World Calligraphy as Meditation Day. It was June 21st, and it was incredible. We brought 21 instructors from all over the world, including this Paul Antonio, who was the scribe to the Queen, and people from all over the world. And it was pretty great. And then when she had said to me, "Let's do this," and then she said, "Hey, and I'd like for you to write an article for the magazine." And I said, "Absolutely, I'll do that." So I went away and I wrote my article, and in my head, you and I follow Kathy Heller, and Kathy Heller's always saying, "You know what, that's fantastic, but what, there's always an and, right? What more can we open ourselves up to?" So I got off the call with her and I'm writing the article for the magazine, and I thought, what else could the universe bring me? And so I created a social media post on Canva as if I were on the front cover of the magazine, because I thought, hey, you know what? Let's just put that out there, kind of like a vision board sort of thing. And sure enough, a couple months later, we were at Kathy Heller's retreat in the springtime, and magical things happened. And one morning I checked my email, and the woman reached out to me and says, "Hey, Angie, can you send us a really good picture? We want to put you on the cover of the magazine." And I thought, of course you do, because, when you're open to these things, just happen. And I'd heard for years how things happen for people. And I always thought, oh, that's so wonderful. But that doesn't happen for me. That can't happen for me. That won't happen for me. I was just in that negative mindset. But when we are exposed, I love speaking with you, and when we talk with people who are like-minded like this, we just keep our minds open for the most incredible opportunities. And being here with you is it's one of them. And I'm so grateful to be here with you.
This is amazing. I mean, I'm like, wow, how many incredible opportunities you have created for yourself through the power of intention, your intention of, you have this creative art that you have perfected, even though you probably don't think you have, but we all know, you've perfected it. And you went ahead and said, okay, the old Angie, we're going to just put her over here for a second and step into the new identity of the Angie I'm trying to become, with really being in this entire world, which is so niched, right? It's so niche, which is amazing. And you've uncovered so many possibilities that are just kind of tipping one domino and then the next domino, which is incredible. I mean, I'm sitting here and what's coming to me is, why aren't you on YouTube?
I am on YouTube, and
Okay.
yes. And I started a YouTube channel. I can't remember when I started it, but I'm starting to really dial in on it. And you and I were speaking about, you were wondering if I had a podcast, and I love podcasts. Like, I binge listen to podcasts. I have been since 2016, but I've never really been interested in having one myself. But to me, yes, having a YouTube channel is my kind of podcast, right? I love to create video and tutorials and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's such a visual medium. Makes sense that you would take your art and teach people, and that be a great platform for people to just not only learn the art of calligraphy, but really get like your essence and your energy. And I just think, that's going to be a great platform for you to just have some more exposure, right? That's just really what it's about, is sharing with more people and getting all these wonderful opportunities knocking at your door, which is wonderful. So what's your next big thing you're putting into the universe, so we can just put it on this universe?
Well, that's a great question. So we were speaking before about how, I am a bit of a squirrel brain. And when I start to focus on one thing, I'm very much focused on that. So before we got on the call, I was making a video for TikTok, actually. And I love creating social media, but it does take a lot longer than I, realize. I think, oh yeah, I'll just do this in a half an hour, but then I tweak it and I do a voiceover and, all of these things. And so it takes a lot longer. And so I'm building my business teaching calligraphy as mindfulness. But hey, this is the first time I'm saying this out loud on the air. So here we go.
Hey, I know you are knuckle deep in this podcast episode right now, but I am here to just let you know that if you aren't on my newsletter list, this is where you want to be. This is where I will be sharing more behind the scenes content of some things that I'm working on, some projects. If you're interested in any of the retreats or workshops that I'm going to be hosting coming up in 2026 and beyond, you're going to want to be on the newsletter list. Listen, I know email is archaic. I know we hate being in there. I know it's scary, but you can do it. We can do this together, because the emails you get from me are not going to be the shit spam emails that you get from everyone else. All right. I'm talking about real stuff that's useful for you in real time, that you can reference, stuff that's going to jog your brain a little bit, make you think about life, not just another influencer who's just spitting a new workout and a meal plan at you. Plus, anytime I create any fun freebies, any actionable tools, steps, or strategies, my newsletter people are the first to get it, and you won't want to miss out, especially for retreats and workshops that are coming up, because this is the shit that makes you the boss bitch that I know that you are dying to be in your life. All right, go check out that link.
I want to teach other people to become calming calligraphy practitioners. So that's it, the Calming Calligraphy method. So it'll be a method that is put out there for other people to take this certification to teach calming calligraphy to others. So it'll be a combination of learning the actual craft, of sitting down, of being intentional, doing affirmations and journaling and the whole thing. What do you think?
I think that's amazing. I mean, it starts as a seed, right? And you just start planting those seeds. And I think you'll know when that time has come, when you have people who are just so your diehards, they're your people. And you probably will have to just say, excuse me, I think you need to teach this to your people, right? Like, that's really how it starts. I mean, I'm thinking just in my world, when I started personal training and it was just me, and I started having clients coming in and training with me, and I saw the love that they had for my mission and what I was really standing for, and really just knowing these are my people. And I would start to train my trainers from my client base. I would ask them, like, you are embodying my methods and my philosophies, and you're really like drinking the Kool-Aid. I think you would inspire other women that would come in and train with you. So it's a beautiful thing to be in a position of, I've got this craft, I have this thing I'm bringing to people, that it's offering them a form of self-care and awareness and mindfulness. And why not make that a bigger pool of humans by teaching them your methods? I think we're putting it into the universe, Angie.
Yes, I love it. Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
how it comes into existence, right?
It does. It does. And, I think self-limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, all of that tends to come up and it kicks up from time to time. I think there's a part of that, the voice isn't as loud the more that you are doing the thing.
Yeah.
But I've noticed,
I really drown it out as much as possible.
yeah, I've noticed that when I'm getting ready to move to that next level, and I'm kind of hitting my glass ceiling a little bit, the voice peaks up and it's like, oh, and then I need a great conversation with women like you,
Yes.
or someone on Kathy's team. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't serve me. Let's keep moving this boss bitch train to the next station. Yeah, I think that's amazing. Now, let's talk a little bit in terms of for those that are really curious about the calligraphy piece and obviously what you're doing here. I know for myself, it seems like such an overwhelming thing, right? Oh, I'm so interested, but it seems like it would take a lot of time. And, the perfectionist in me is going to be like, oh, this is ugly. It doesn't look like Angie's, right? So how do you walk people through very basic getting started and maybe calming that voice and parking it while they play?
Yes. Okay. So there are many different ways to practice calligraphy. There's pointed pen, brush pen, iPad, and there's faux calligraphy. So faux calligraphy is the most easily accessible way. And with modern calligraphy, there are these basic strokes. So whether you're using a pointed pen, a brush pen, a paintbrush, or faux calligraphy, just a regular marker or pen or pencil, the basic strokes are the same. And so you learn these basic strokes, and every letter is a combination of these basic strokes. So it is much simpler to take these building blocks, and it is just like exercise. You do much better being consistent, right? So with calligraphy, I say 10 minutes a day, and you build this muscle memory versus going to the gym once every 2 weeks for 4 hours. What does that get you, right? It's so much better to go, every day for an hour than, right? Yeah. So with calligraphy, it's the same thing. So you are practicing and really and truly 10 minutes a day, you build this muscle memory for it. And then you start thinking oh my gosh, you see improvements, but you also find the time passes. And I imagine I do not go to a gym, but I work out outside. I wear my vest and I hike. I do a lot of hiking. And when I go for a walk, I can walk for hours. I don't have the time to do that, unfortunately, but I could just go forever and because I'm in that flow and I'm in nature. And so the same thing when I sit down to do my calligraphy, I could sit there for hours, and people that I have taught say the same thing. They say, yeah, I'll just do this for 10 minutes, but then you just get into this flow state and calms you right down. And you don't want to
see how that would be. Yeah. Now, I'm thinking when it comes to using the calligraphy in ways that are practical, once you kind of have it down, my head's going this would be an amazing workshop for creating gifts for the holidays, right? Or just having some because, I'm kind of old school in that I just don't want to give people things they have on a list. I really like to be more intentional. And I think things that are classic keepsakes that someone's going to have forever, that somebody took the time to sit and actually do this thing, touches me so much more than you bought me some great socks that were on my list, know? Yeah. So when it comes to putting it to practice, what are some great ways that calligraphy can make creative and just timeless sort of gifts for people.
So you can write out quotes and give them to people to frame. You can create cards, the old-fashioned snail mail. I have a pen pal in Korea, actually, and we're both calligraphers, and we send each other letters. Did I say place cards are great?
No, that's great.
Yeah, so at our holiday parties, I'm always creating our place cards, and there are so many things. Like, I wish I had some of them here to show you, but Christmas ornaments, I like to personalize those. Pumpkins, that's the next workshop that we're doing, personalizing pumpkins. As for the ornaments, we've got brand new babies in our family. And so last Christmas, I had little mini ornaments and I used them as gift tags, these little mini ornaments with the child's name on it. But yeah, there's so many possibilities. Bookmarks. When I do my calligraphy workshops, I always have in front of everybody's workbook, there'll be a name tag for them with their name. So I love to personalize, and everybody loves their name on something. So yes, I did the bookmarks last time. And for the pumpkin one, I've got little mini pumpkins that I'm writing their names on. And yeah, the possibilities are endless. You can letter on anything and everything, especially with faux calligraphy, because you just use a paint pen. And, one of my favorite paint pens, covers any surface. So you can write on any. It's great.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. I mean, I know at Kathy's retreat, you took us through a really quick workshop, which probably wasn't ideal for the medium of which you try to teach people, right? Because you're explaining it, but it's a visual thing. And so having the actual visual I would assume be much easier. But even through that, I had so much fun. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could see myself getting into this, because I'm very much old school, pen and paper, pencil and paper, even when it comes down to my day-to-day schedule and things like that. And so I'll find myself kind of playing around with just the way that I'm writing my words. And instead of creating an A the classic way, I'll do it a different way, right? It's just fun for me. I don't know if you remember the days of Lisa Frank. Do you remember that stationery back in the day in school? It was the super colorful stickers and binders and stuff. And so for me, that has always been super fun. Even in my planner, I've got these little stickers that I'll put on here, just to kind of make the day-to-day mundane stuff a little bit more fun. But learning to write in calligraphy is next level.
Yeah. And you know what? And when you're writing in your journal or your...
my schedule, my planner.
Oh, yes. Thank you, planner. When you're writing in your planner, you could always pick out a few words to, create into faux calligraphy, right? So that they stand out. I love doing that. That looks so cool in a planner.
It does. Just the first letter, of each word or something like that, just to kind of play around. Yes. Super fun. Just another way to bring a little bit more mindfulness into your day, for sure. How do you use calligraphy now, on a day-to-day basis? Do you just kind of play around with it whenever you're doing things?
Yeah. So typically I do create a lot of social media content. So when I am creating videos, that might be my 10-minute practice, right? But when I'm not creating videos, I sit down and I practice the basic strokes. The basic strokes are always a good thing to go back to. Or, I love to find quotes, and I've got some great fall time quotes that I did a bunch of them yesterday with a black paper and colorful paints, the colors of the leaves turning. Yeah, some really beautiful quotes. And so, I practice every day. So if it's not an intentional, okay, I'm going to sit down to do my thing, it's, I'm doing it to post on social media, or I was doing a course that I was recording a few days ago. So every day I had a few things to record for that. And so, it's so much fun because I am doing what I love now. And, I'll speak to my mom and she says, it seems like you're working a lot more than when you did as a nurse, right? And I say, it's, I guess it might be true, but I said, but I'm creating, right? And I said, so to me, it's not, when they say when you do something that you love, it's not work. Yeah, there are parts of it that that I'm not crazy about. For the most part, yeah, maybe I am spending more time than I did at the hospital, but I'm loving it. It lights me up. So it's a win, right?
Most definitely. I know I fall into the same camp because I could talk to people all day. I could interview people all day and meet people and have these great conversations. I think that's the blessing that is the internet and having the span of reaching people through the way that we met even, right? And for me, it's the same thing. It's like there's the parts of my stuff like, splicing reels and doing this or creating an email and trying to like do all the back end stuff. But at the end of the day, when you're super passionate about something, it's easy to just get on a video with somebody and record or create a post about something that I'm feeling pretty passionate about. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's
Great,
very,
isn't it?
yeah, it's very easy to do for sure. For sure. Okay. So anything that we maybe haven't covered today that you feel you want to share?
Well, I do want to say, I think I may have said it earlier about myself, saying, am I good enough? Am I creative? I want to say that, for your audience, we are all creative. We are all born creative. And, people say, I'm not an artist, but as I had said, we are all creative beings. And I believe that it is very fulfilling to us to tap into our creativity, no matter what we do for work, even if you're not an entrepreneur. So when I was working at the hospital, I tried to be as creative as possible because when I would go, I thought that I had to be one or the other because I really did not want to be a nurse. My parents wanted me to be a nurse. I wanted to be some kind of artist, but I ended up going to nursing school and I thought, so then I was put into this box. I felt like a fish out of water. And I thought, here I am. I'm not loving this so much, but I have to find a way to love it. And I was very much into drama as well. And in the UK, they call the operating room the theater. So I thought, this is going to be my theater. So as much as possible, we would have fun when there was a surgeon who would, have music playing. We would sing and we would be positive. And I really believe that would help our patient on the table and working creatively. And there were times where something would go a little off because I did work in a trauma center for about 10 years. And we refocus, prioritize, and find creative ways there again to how are we going to deal with the situation. And so I think creativity is something that we all need to remember that we are born with. And to me, it's essential as the breath we take.
I love that. That's so beautiful. It really is. And I was guilty of saying, I'm not creative. I don't have a creative bone in my body, because I know better. But in my head, it's like, oh, I don't know how to paint and I don't know how to, do all these creative things. My creative bones are just very different. It's the way I interview. It's the way that I create content. It's, it's creative in a different medium. And I think what you're saying is great because it's kind of calling women out, right? You've got it in there. What is it? And how can you just put a different spin on how you live your life is living it through a bit of a creative lens, which I think is amazing. Just makes it more fun.
It definitely does. And I have to say that when I was watching you, when we were in Florida, oh my goodness, like you were shooting all that B-roll for all of us. And it
was fun.
We all have that creative spark and it's all in different ways. Like my one sister says, I'm not creative, but you should see the way she decorates her house. The other one, the way she creates the food that we're going to her place for Thanksgiving. So it's like, we all have it in us and we need to tap into it because it's essential.
Yeah. Thank you for that reminder. For sure. We love that. Now, tell us where we can find you. If you have anything coming up, any maybe virtual workshops, anything there, we'll put it all in the show notes. But definitely let us know what you're up to and our listeners can come find you.
Thank you so much. So I'm at Calming Calligraphy everywhere. So my website is calmingcalligraphy.com. Right now, it's a little bit under construction. So I think the best place to find me is on Instagram at Calming Calligraphy. but I'm at Calming Calligraphy everywhere: Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, all the places. But Instagram is the most up-to-date one. And I will be having a virtual Letter on a Pumpkin workshop. I believe, I'm not sure if it's going to be the 17th or the 24th of this month, but that will be announced on Instagram.
Okay, great. We'll link everything up and people can come find you and get into your world and get their creative juices flowing. That's really what this is all about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Angie. I appreciate you. It was a joy meeting you in person. And I know people are going to fall in love with you after this podcast for sure. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome.
What a great episode with Miss Angie. Now, I'm going to hit you with some key takeaways from this episode. Number one, your creativity is not lost. You just have to remember it, right? She reminds us that every woman is creative. We all are creative beings, even if you don't see yourself that way. Number two, burnout can be your redirection. Angie talked about hitting a wall with Hashimoto's and panic attacks, and these were signs from her body begging her to slow down. So burnout can be a redirection for something absolutely beautiful. Number three, start small and be consistent. When I tried this exercise at the retreat, Angie stood up and gave us a little bit of a workshop. I could feel myself getting frustrated, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to look perfect. But like fitness, you have to remember creativity is going to thrive on consistency. So practicing, playing, having fun, let it be messy. Don't take yourself too seriously. Number four, intention opens doors that you never saw coming. So like she talked about in the episode, creating that mock magazine cover, and it became reality for her, founding World Calligraphy as Meditation Day. Oh my goodness, how incredible. So I loved Angie's story. It shows how bold intention and openness to possibility can absolutely manifest into some really wild opportunities, and I'm here for it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to share this with a friend that maybe needs a little bit of inspiration today. If you can think of just one person that's could really use a message like today's episode, I would be grateful if you shared that, and continue listening with an open heart because we have so much good shit coming your way. All right. I love you. Mean it. Bye.